Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while and a lot of the time I'm just showing you bits and pieces that I'm doing. So this time what I'm thinking is I'm going to do the whole thing from start to finish, show you how I do it, whether you like the way I do it or it's a different way to you. That's really immaterial. The idea is I'm just going to show you, and we're going to end up hopefully with something decent that we can then take back to the customer, and they're going to be happy with the job. So this is what we're doing. It's a target rifle stock. All the main components have been removed. There's the trigger guard. Basically that's it. I'm going to take that off, and a few other bits and pieces, and then we're going to prep it and paint it and clear coat it. So you'll see the whole thing. I reckon this is going to take a little bit of time, so bear with me or watch the bits you want to bitch. Bear with me or watch the bits that you want to watch. I didn't mean to say bitch. And then at the end of it you can decide yourself whether this is something that you'd like to do or the way you'd like to do it. And of course, just like all the other times, if you could like, give me a thumbs up, share, or even subscribe to the channel. It all helps to get my videos out there to other people. So I'd much appreciate that. This is going to take a good few weeks to do, and I'll try and condense it so that you're not bored with hours of painting and stuff. But what I want to try and do is show you all the steps, even though we might cut some of the rubbish out, the boring bits. Okay, so thanks for watching. We're going to crack on, and hopefully you'll join me in the next few episodes when we get this thing back to the customer. Thanks, bye. Okay, so as you can see, I've got this stock set up on a couple of sponges just to stop me banging it around, and what I'm going to do first is take off all the bits that I need to paint separately or not get paint on, and then depending on how tight these things fit depends on whether I mask them up and paint over it or whether I take them out and paint inside. And you'll see in a minute I've got a couple of Allen keys here, so what I'm going to do is just take these out and hopefully put them somewhere safe. So you'll see when this came to me, it just had one bolt in that side, and then this should come out now, and it depends on how stiff this is, just how much room I've got to play with around the edge of this thing. If this is really tight going in, I can't afford to put extra paint layers on the inside because this thing won't go back in. So that is going to then depend on how I mask it. So if I just, and this is definitely, okay, that's the trigger guard, really tight in there, so that kind of determines that I can't put an edge on that. I'll have to mask on the inside of that thing so that no paint gets in there, so that this can sit back in without any major mither. So that's that first one, and I always record even on my phone when I'm splitting something up, just to be on the safe side, because the last thing I want to do is forget where things go or how they go. So then we've got this here, which I believe holds the tripod, but I'm not certain. At this stage it doesn't really matter, other than the fact that okay, so I need the okay, so different size Allen key. So there's 3 smaller bolts then now in here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. That's 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to use that to stop these rolling around. 1, 2, 3, and then again we're going to see how this comes out. Yeah, tight, but maybe not quite as tight, but definitely a snug fit. So that's that thing there. Obviously you can see maybe there are threads in there that are set into this stock, so obviously we have to be careful that we don't get paint in there or in there. So we'll have to plug all those holes, and we'll tape this up as well. Okay, so the next thing then is just move that one. The next thing then is this cheek pad, which is adjustable. So I believe when they're using this, you can undo that, move this up or down wherever you want it to go, and you rest your cheek on there when you're looking down the sights, and it gets to the point where it can go basically anywhere in there. Now what I'm going to do now is take this off, and hopefully we're catching this on video. I'll just move it over because I definitely don't want to not know how to get this back together. There's a little plate at the back of this, and I'm going to unscrew what I think is kind of a bolt, and there's obviously a spring in there. Okay, so that's not a bolt, the bolt's on the other side. So if I take, now I can see there's a washer on this side. Okay, so that's the other side, and then in here that's the cheek pad. Okay, let me get this up to the camera if I can. So we can see in there is this washer, which now I want it to come out, won't come out. Washer, and then inside there is a spring, and it's just, actually it's sat, but it has that other thing, whatever you'd call that. I told you this could be a lot of messing. You have to bear with me now while I get this thing out. This is like trying to eat fish with chopsticks. Well, I can't anyway. There's got to be a way of this coming out. There we go, I think. Okay, no wonder this is going to take weeks. So that's that bit from inside there, and then that little lip is what holds that spring in place. So when that sits in there, the actual top of this spring sits on the other side. So this doesn't actually sit on that side. The spring is there and that sits on that side. So that's what stops this from coming all the way up. Okay, so we'll take that out. The little knurly bit at the top, if you can see, that's going to sit on the screw side. Yeah, because that goes in there. That goes in there. The screw side goes in there. You've got the washer, the weird looking spacer thing on the inside, a washer, and then the screw up nut, and that sits down inside it. Okay, so with that out of the way, and I'm going to put these back relatively easy to remember which way they went in or came out. That's that. That's the spring. So the last thing now that we've got to do is take off this pad, whatever that's called. The pad that sits, I don't know, on your shoulder pad. Okay, and I know then now that one of these, I think it's the bigger one, will undo these. There are little holes in there, so I can put this in, undo that side, undo that side, and it looks like these might actually just stay in the pad. I don't have to take them out of the pad at all. All right. So I think you can see there's two metal inserts there with threads inside them, so I'm going to have to keep that clean. I'm going to have to keep the inside of that clean. I'll have to keep that and the underside, and then the same at that end. So all that stuff is going to have to be masked off so that we can, when we spray, we're not causing any kind of thickness. If that gets any thicker than that, even by 1/2 mil, we won't get the stuff back in. Same with this side, and all these little holes that are in the place have to be masked up. So that's the thing stripped down. And what I'm going to do now is give this its initial wipe over, and what I'm going to use is this stuff. It's anti-silicone fast degreaser, and basically it's known as panel wipe. This particular one is U-POL System 20. And I use this on any of the automotive stuff that I'm doing. I've got this kitchen roll, which it's not just like a normal kitchen roll, it is really tough and doesn't normally split. I'm just going to put plenty of this on here, and then I can turn this to the side and just start rubbing this down, try and clean off any of the grease, dirty fingerprints. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera or not, but there's definitely a lot of dirty marks and probably grease and other bits and pieces on this. There's a big scratch on the top there. So the idea then first is to get rid of as much grease and dirt and stuff on these panels, silicone, anything that's on there, so that when we come to paint we know we've got a surface that's going to give us a good adhesion, which is a great word. See what I mean about these kitchen rolls? They're like a cloth, as good as. I'm going to put a bit more on. Okay, and then what I'm also going to do is get this cheek pad, do the same with this. I don't think, looking at this, that I need to put on an adhesion promoter, which I've heard about, and I don't normally do it because the Autoborn sealers are fantastic at sticking. Just get rid of all the grease and grime or anything else that's on there, and up to now, touch wood, I've never really had a problem. I just got to make sure that what we're doing is really clean. Wear a pair of gloves so you don't get your greasy paw marks all over it. Okay, so I think that is about that. First one, nice and quick. Be aware that if I'm going to be doing this all the way through, it's going to be a fairly long job, I would say, so you can maybe pick and choose the bits that you want to watch and the bits that you don't. Okay, I can't tell you about go to such a thing because I don't really know how to do that. Go to time 23, split it into different categories. Don't really know how to do that, so we'll just have to do it, and you'll see the next one. Now I've got that done, I'm going to put all those bits away safe, and then the next job will be masking up, and maybe even, I might even do a bit of wet and dry on this first. But it looks fairly decent. It looks like it's had a coat of something, maybe a ceramic coating that they put over firearms. I don't know. But anyway, look, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed what I'm doing. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up, like, share, all that stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a million. Bye.